Kat Kammack is a friend of mine from the state of Florida. She is a member of Congress. She is one of the funniest people you will meet. And yesterday, after the continuing resolution came out, she put up a tweet that read, "Conservatives in the House of Representatives should start an OnlyFans account given how often we get screwed." The CR is bad, and the CR is bad, and a lot of conservatives are not going to vote for it. And it's probably going to pass. Among other things, the legislation will exempt members of Congress from Obamacare. Remember, when Obamacare passed, one of the conditions was members of Congress would have to go into Obamacare. This continuing resolution is going to pull members of Congress out of Obamacare. Not their staff, mind you, just the members of Congress. It's a terrible deal. Here is my friend.
The conference.
Well, let me reset this. My friend Chip Roy, congressman from Texas, was interviewed about this deal.
The conference needs to decide whether we're actually serious about spending. And they talk about, well, we got to do mandatory spending reform and bend the curve. But we just voted on a $200 billion shift of dollars in Social Security that's going to shorten the time when Social Security expires or goes bankrupt. We're just fundamentally unserious about spending. And as long as you got a blank check, you can't shrink government. If you can't shrink government, you can't live free.
Do you plan on supporting this?
That's Congressman Chip Roy, friend of mine, been on the show a number of times, good personal friend, furious about this package and the amount of spending. Speaker Johnson's been making the rounds on this.
And Mr. Speaker, it's not just so you've got a bunch of Republicans who are angry at you. They don't like this. And just in a couple of weeks, you're going to stand once again to run for Speaker of the House. And you don't need a bunch of Democrats mad at you. But you know, and this is breaking news you do not know. You know who also does not like this? Elon Musk, the world's richest man, just tweeted this bill should not pass. The only way you're going to be able to pass it now, Mr. Speaker, is with Democrats. If you could, what's your message to Elon Musk?
Well, I was communicating with Elon last night. Elon and Vivek and I are on a text chain together, and I was explaining to them the background of this. And Vivek and I talked last night about almost midnight, and he said, look, I get it. He said, we understand you're in an impossible position. Everybody knows that. Remember, guys, we still have just a razor-thin margin of Republicans, so any bill has to have Democrat votes. They understand the situation. They said, it's not directed to you, Mr. Speaker, but we don't like the spending. I said, guess what, fellas? I don't either. We got to get this done because here's the key. By doing this, we are clearing the decks, and we are setting up for Trump to come in roaring back with the America First agenda. That's what we're going to run with gusto beginning January 3rd when we start the new Congress, when Republicans, again, are in control. And all of our fiscal conservative friends, I'm one of them, will be able to finally do the things that we've been wanting to do for the last couple of years. Right now, Democrats still control the pens, and that's the problem. So we got to get this thing done so we don't have the shutdown, so we get the short-term funding measure, and we get to March where we can put our fingerprints on the spending. That's when the big changes start, and we can't wait to get there.
So you understand the speaker's position here. Here's. Let me just talk to you about this in really practical terms. By the way, let me get out first. I think they should kill this deal. I think it's a bad deal. I think exempting members of Congress from Obamacare is a bad thing. One good thing that's in the legislation is they will essentially penalize American companies that are helping the Chinese build out technology that could be used against us, but that could pass on its own probably. This is a terrible piece of legislation. It probably should be killed. I hope Elon Musk is whispering to Donald Trump, try to get him to scuttle it. But I do want you to see, knowing my position, at least let me explain the other side to you. Republicans had the opportunity earlier this year to pass a spending package that actually was not bad compared to this one. It spent less money. It made more cuts. It was much better than the spending package. And it was about a half dozen to a dozen conservative members of the House of Representatives, all Republicans, who sabotaged that deal. They didn't like it, and they didn't want it, and they had to restructure it, and they kicked the can on everything until now. So those conservatives could have gotten a better deal then, and instead are now getting this. The reason the speaker wants the deal done at this moment is because they don't want to bog down and burden Donald Trump when he gets into office and immediately wants to start on reconciliation. They want a plan that can last until March of next year. So when Donald Trump comes into office, they can immediately begin work on reconciliation and restructuring the spending in Washington, D.C. That's part of the issue. It's a terrible plan, though. But again, the speaker would tell you, and I will tell you, and it is the truth, that the Republicans need Democratic votes because there is such a slim margin. There are Republicans who will never vote for the spending package. And the Democrats have held out. So you do need to understand this. As much as I hate the plan and think it needs to be killed, I do understand the speaker's position is that there are a handful of Republicans who will not vote for any spending package whatsoever. And since they will vote for no spending package whatsoever and the government must be funded, they're not going to shut down the government. They got an obligation to fund the government. They're not going to shut it down. They can't get these Republicans, so they got to get Democrats. Well, the way to get Democrats is to throw money at them, and that's what they've had to do. You and I can disagree with it, but I at least understand the position the speaker is in. This is the speaker. He was on Newsmax.
You know, Mr. Speaker, you've got a very slim majority right now, a slim majority in the new Congress next year. Do you have any concerns that this deal will impact the vote for your speakership to continue, or might this cost you the gavel?
No, I don't think it will. I mean, look, we have a series of difficult choices, and it doesn't matter who the speaker is. We'd be facing the same exact dilemma. We try to navigate this as best as possible and chosen the least of the bad options in front of us. No one wants to spend $110 billion, but when you have emergencies that are actually, you know, as they're legally called acts of God, these are not man-made disasters. They're outside of our control, and there's a certain principle that the federal government has some role to play. So we don't like that. We don't like spending money. But in a case like this, you know, to be frank, it would be the red states that are left out. It would be the rural areas. You know, Democrats don't have a big priority on the agriculture community because they don't have that in their districts. These are Republican states and Republican districts, and we would be derelict in our duty if we didn't take care of them. So that's the part of this that is uncomfortable for people. We don't like spending money, but we have to do it responsibly.
But and again, it comes back to there's a grab bag in this. It's not just that. And the speaker can rightfully say, well, here's the problem. We can only lose maybe 3 Republican votes. And there are 6 Republicans who won't vote for any spending package under the sun unless we're rolling back government. Therefore, we have to have Democrats to get this passed to fund these rural areas and to fund natural disaster package for North Carolina, Georgia, and the like from the hurricanes. And to get those Democrats, since we've lost so many Republicans, 6 Republicans, which isn't a lot, but they'll never get them. We got to give the Democrats things they want to get their votes. That is the process. That is the mess. That is how bad it is. The Republicans could, in a room together, come up with a spending package, but there would probably still be 4 or 5 Republicans who would refuse to vote for it. So the speaker's left going to Democrats, and the Democrats want a lot. They should still kill it. The reasons they should kill it are, I mean, there are a multitude of reasons. Chief among them being that they have exempted members of Congress from Obamacare. And that in and of itself is a very bad deal. It also includes a provision that would give lawmakers a pay raise for the first time since 2009. It's a cost of living adjustment that Congress has blocked for years. Some staffers, by the way, will be exempt from Obamacare. Some staffers with their members of Congress will be able to get out of Obamacare. I think that in and of itself is enough to kill this legislation. They got to get rid of that language. I understand the Speaker's position, and I'm not going to attack the Speaker on this because when you can only lose 3 Republicans and you're guaranteed on any spending package to lose 6, he's got to cut a deal with the Democrats. There is literally nothing Mike Johnson can offer these 6 Republicans to get them to vote for any spending package short of cutting the government. And if he does give them what they want, he's going to lose, guess what? A dozen or so other Republicans. He's going to lose more Republicans if he were to give these 6 what they wanted. So he's got to go find as few Democrats as possible to get it across the finish line. And those Democrats came with a list of demands. He's in an unfortunate position. He wanted the position. Said all the time, I feel like he's the dog that caught the car and now doesn't know what to do. I would rather a conservative speaker like Mike Johnson be in that position than a spendthrift who's just going to throw money and cut deals and do earmarks and things like that. He doesn't want to do that, but it's still a terrible package. I recognize he's done what he can do, but I think if there's a provision in there that allows members of Congress to get a pay raise and get off Obamacare at the same time, and I'm not actually someone who opposes giving a pay raise. They haven't had one since 2009. Pretty much every American in some capacity has had a pay raise since 2009. I don't mind that, but getting rid of Obamacare and giving them a pay raise at the same time, in addition to it's a massive, massive spending package. I don't think all these Republicans who've gotten priapism from DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and claim they want to help cut government, I don't think that they should be voting for something like this. And a lot of them are out of one side of their mouth saying they love this Department of Government Efficiency, bring on Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and let them cut government. And on the other side of their mouth saying, let's add $110 billion and cut nothing. You got to cut something. You got to cut something. And the first thing you can cut is members of Congress going back on Obamacare. This is a bad piece of legislation. I understand the Speaker's unfortunate position he's in with such a narrow majority and at least 6 Republicans always voting no on these spending packages. But this is a bad one and needs to die.